What is up, everybody, and welcome back to the second part of the very special episode of Show and Tell After Dark. Right now, we got the entire crew of the Show and Tell podcast with us right here on this couch. Can everybody just go through and introduce themselves and tell how? Actually, just go through first and introduce yourself. Let's start with that.
Homies call me Wolf, but my name is Lamar. Nice to meet y'all.
Yo, I'm Tata. I usually be hosting. And yeah.
He's the ghoster. Shane, aka Shaney Poo, aka the Glue, aka yeah. Next person.
Yep. Oh yeah, I didn't introduce myself on the last part. My name is Cricket Smith. I am a. What would you guys describe me as?
She's a nah. She's one of our original hosts.
Yes, one of the original gals. The original gal. All right.
And then she
Yeah.
went full on prego mode.
Yeah. We good? Period. What's up, X?
Yo, what up? I'm X the God. I'm an artist, music artist, visual artist, rapper, producer, all that. You know what I'm saying?
I was just
Yeah.
gonna say all that.
Yo. It's your boy Most Generous. I'm an artist, actor, producer, the whole shebang. And yeah.
All right. What role does each of you play in the podcast? Like, who does what?
Okay. So the way this originally started was like Shane put on a freaking a random show in this studio, and he was showcasing off of one of his films. I came there just to enjoy it, and I was like, "Damn, this shit was a fucking dope ass event." Even though it was just a bunch of us, but it looked like a scene that Boston need to have.
Right.
You know what I mean? We should do this also again. And also, it was like a real cool time to like just drink with like fucking creatives.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, I came with my enthusiasm. For me, I play a role and like I kind of help host. I kind of like help facilitate ideas, come up with ideas for like different kind of conversations. And I kind of keep maybe some type of motivation. Shane's kind of the glue. Everyone has their roles, but like, what I mean, all of us play a part where we are kind of coming together and wanting to talk about the things that we want to do. Who else wants to talk?
Who else wants to talk? That's cute.
Well, it's more than that, but
Definitely more than that.
yeah, he definitely does more than that. But he's like you said, he's like in front of the camera. Sometimes he's behind it.
Yep.
You know what I mean? He be telling them crazy
Jack of all
jokes,
trades.
them crazy jokes in the middle of the
Devil's
pod
advocate.
and all that stuff. You know how it takes.
I'm really not that.
Man. Like,
Yo, man.
when it started, yeah, I started doing the audio and shit. Like, I had my laptop with the Ableton on that joint, and we had like a two mic setup, and then I remember we were like passing that shit around like a bong or something. Like,
Everybody gets a turn.
yeah,
Yeah.
it was like a magic talking stick, and like you have the floor type shit, and like everyone had a perspective, and like the way this shit just came together, like so naturally, and like I love intellectual discussion and shit, and like yeah, it just felt like magic every time,
And I
It
felt like
still
the
does.
idea of the microphone was your idea first, because I remember that first episode we did, and you were talking about like women are more offended when guys turn them down or whatever. Like,
Yeah, I remember
like
that.
yeah, that was like one of those moments, those 1st moments.
Yeah.
And
What about you, Mos?
Don't be modest. What do you do?
Nah, I basically I help at least like curate the space, like if we're looking for a certain like artists,
The recruiter.
yeah, like
Right, that's
I'm,
the word.
I'm out there.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Right.
like I'm out there like looking for, like, for instance, if we're having a discussion about like toxic femininity or toxic masculinity, I know like a whole bunch of friends around the corner who are down to have discussions like these, because these are like discussions that adults would particularly artists would have, and
Right.
and I felt like in like the genesis of this whole like platform, we've been having like the show and tell events, and I remember I forgot who this guy was, but he mentioned something about infrastructure, how like there is it's not really that abundant when it comes to communities like this, but like how we made something like show and tell out of nothing,
Mm-hmm.
and then we've been doing is being like persistent
Mm-hmm.
and dedicated and to like growing. It just gave me like a purpose, like outside of my artistry, because there are times I would tell Shane like, yo, I felt like I sacrificed my artistry, for the brand, for show and tell. But then like you start to realize I didn't really. It's of course like no matter what you do, there's gonna be sacrifice, but of course I had to kind of like wear different hats, because as artists, that's what we had to do. But show and tell always gave me purpose, and I would always feel like happy getting drunk with people, like mainly people that I know, mainly
Right.
people that I don't know, but most of the time, like no matter what, I'm getting fucked up regardless, because most of the time I'm either coming from work or I'm going to work
Yep.
after, so like it doesn't matter, like the this is more than just like a grind. It's just like a community in a way. And I always say community is like the first platform. So like no matter where we have like the ecosystem or what we're going through in life, we always come together here. It's a just like share and just unload and just talk about shit that most adults wouldn't normally talk, like have conversations like these, in like a work environment
Right.
or whatnot.
Too many politics involved.
Yeah, being politically correct, like fuck all that.
Right.
Like, I'm tired of it.
So
That's
for
funny.
me, it was wild because at the time, me and Tatas and Shane actually was trying to do a film together. You know, a horror film.
A horror film.
We was trying to do a horror film together, and we wanted to like broadcast that, at the same day you was doing your, video premiere. And so from that point, it was just like, oh, we seeing, a lot of people also asking to promote their brands. Even with the what was it, the woman that was doing the what was it, the skincare, right? The black woman that was doing the skincare.
Oh yeah, I remember her. That
Yeah.
was early on.
Yeah. I'm saying like the early off. It was just like you had different people like just broadcasting all types of stuff outside even just being artistic. Just different stuff. And that was just like a good look, and I seen that from there. I was like, yo, like we can come up
Got
with
something.
some shit, like.
Caught a fish.
Like you might get something on the hook right now. And I remember just like nights where it was like, well, because we lived together, it was just like we would just like try to brainstorm different like topics for different podcasts that we were gonna have or different events we were gonna have, and it's like, yo, how should we do this and everything, like as far as questions. That was on the backside of everything, so it was just like for what I brought into is like really just try to facilitate for every single role. As far as if you need someone on camera, as far as you need someone just like being here and like on the couch,
the event went smoothly.
make sure everything was smooth. If we gotta do some runs or whatever, outside, everything's like, yeah. So it's just like hitting on angles, jack of all trades. I am Tata's worst nightmare, but then again, we all need him, in the flesh. But yet we need it. It's necessary. It's necessary. It is disgusting. It's hard because it's like I don't gotta focus. Everything's my focus.
It's a production. It really
I'm
is.
just
No matter how small it looks, it's
ADD
Everybody has a
on
job.
wheels. What we doing? Oh, this is. I got a name for this. Let's
and
go.
it works. It always ends up working.
Somehow.
Period, and that's the most important part. So there's two parts of this. We got Show and Tell Boston, and we have Show and Tell After Dark. What is the difference between the two?
Man, I feel like the After Dark is just more raw, and it's like a more intimate setting, and it's more focused. You know, like I love the show and tells when you have like mad people because you know you have more perspectives and points of view and stuff. But like when you have a smaller group, it's like a whole different vibe, and it's like it's almost like two sides of the same coin. You know, like heads and tails type shit, and like yeah, it's like the dark side of the moon type shit.
Yeah. So show and tell is our community event, our community platform. That's how we started. So generally, we started with like, hey, you do something cool, come over here, showcase your shit. Let's see what you do. Showcase it to everybody in the fucking room. You know what I mean? And let's have conversations. We actually like during our events, we ask everybody previously and at the event, write down a question and tell us what you're interested in talking about. And we make sure we have those conversations. And that's what we talk about in the show and tell thing. We make sure everybody has a voice in show and tell. Show and tell after dark is when we dive deeper into these conversations. Either we're doing an artist interview or an artist panel. So in an artist interview, we're trying to get to know artists. Just trying to get to know people in our community that are doing shit. Whether it's in Boston, whether it's Massachusetts, or wherever the fuck you are, it doesn't really fucking matter.
Right.
We just want to get to know artists, and we want to get to know them intimately, and we fucking drink them up, and we get drunk, and we fucking have good-ass conversations. Yeah, you know what I mean? Yeah, because sober conversations, I mean, actually, no, we have some conversations, and we love them. But, you know, I mean, I like to get, you know, we all like to get a little schwasty. But the panels is like, it's women. But the panels is a big part of show and tell after dark because that's when we like get to like ask a specific question or topic or theme, and we get to really dive into it. And we don't even give our own really opinions. We just let the people who are on here who have opinion ideas hash it out.
Right.
And all we do is moderate and mediate it.
Period. Period. Hashtag dive.
You know it.
How does that kind of business structure, how does that compare to all of the other podcasts or even artist podcasts that are in Boston or any other city?
Let me get this.
You got it.
Yeah. Well, what I can say is there's a lot of podcasts out there, shout out to them, who definitely bring a lot of impact to like the culture here. You know, whether they're like artist based or have different artists or they talk about concurrent events. But what makes us different is like we're not a hip hop podcast, right? We don't cover hip hop. We do have artists who are rappers who do, hip hop. You know, we've even had like Crumpers on here. So, it's just our subject matter. We talk about everything.
Yep.
Everything, like from like mental health to politics to like just a range of things that you can't even like have, like, again, things that you can't even have discussions with, not even with your parents. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I remember the guy at the event, I forgot his name, I don't know.
Something Cuban.
But yeah, Cuban dude, I forgot his name. Don't kill me. But he was like, we are like promoting therapy more than ever. You know, every time I come here, like, I feel like it's like another day or another week in therapy.
Yeah. Wow.
You know, it's like a therapy for artists.
Yeah, this is like a safe haven type of thing, and we're all creatives and artists in our own way. So it's like we're not even podcasters.
Right.
Like
Deeper than
we're
that.
not even like straight up. We're not even podcasters. We're just a bunch of artists that come together and, like you said, facilitate conversations. And a lot of these conversations aren't even focused or about us.
Right.
It's really about everybody outside.
Right.
We want you all to kind of be the meat and bones of this because it's about y'all at the end of the day. And I think that's one of the biggest differences, I guess.
Mind you, like I'm not even a I'm the main host, but I'm not a hoster. You know, I came up as a videographer.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And and it was weird that they're like, oh yeah, you got to be in front of the camera. It's weird that like Shane is a musician, and Shane's our editor. You know, Shane's our videographer. Like it's like why?
That's what I'm saying.
You know, I had the
Different
videography.
hats.
Yeah, exactly. But I had the videography background.
Yeah.
But Shane is doing the videography, and he's a musician. So like in like retrospective, he should be the one that's in the spotlight. He should be the one that's doing the hosting. But the way that things came together is very weird, and it just works for us.
The ultimate.
Yo, some of the people he be looking at be like, yo, my guy, I see what you're doing, my guy. I can't help but laugh. Some people.
It seems like everybody represents something different for art in general.
I represent racism.
Bye.
What was that again?
Say it on record. On record.
Tata, you kind of represent videography plus hosting.
Not on this platform.
You
Is that
represent.
Weinstein?
You represent
He's the devil's advocate, man.
music plus
Just give them my
editing.
Nah, videography I don't represent on this platform. In this platform, I represent like devil's advocacy. I represent like even if I agree with your ideas, I say I'm gonna challenge them anyway. I represent what's called the other side. Even if I agree with you, I'm going to argue with you because it's just I'm just curious. You know, whether I believe in it or not is like, do you have the information to back that up? You know what I mean? But what do you represent, Shane?
I feel like I represent. I like to see myself as someone with like a vision, and I just like to like make that come to life. I guess you call that a visionary. I don't know.
100%.
Other than that, like I said, I'd be behind the camera. Like I'd be like just like watching other people talk, and it'd be more entertaining than you think.
Yeah.
Seeing other people talk about stuff every week, it's like I'm like, wow, this is, you know what I mean? Like, but yeah, I kind of like he said, it's like the glue. I'm just like whatever needs to be done. Yeah, cool, let's do it. Like I'm developing into more of like a producer,
100%.
music wise, but also now with this.
Right.
And it's just the idea of like seeing something and be, oh, okay, I know how this needs to look like, and just kind of putting your hands on it.
Yep.
You know,
It kind of goes back to being that visionary because you have to have a vision.
You have
for
to.
anything to execute.
or stay
It
in
all
bed,
comes from your mind first.
or stay in bed.
I see that with you a lot, my boy. Because like honestly, I see you like sacrificing a lot to like make shit happen. You know, so definitely producer role. I see it a lot, most definitely.
What does successful representation looks like for the group, and how do you guys feel like you're delivering on that?
So successful representation.
Something's going on.
Well, I can say that we promote free speech more than ever because we're not a place that like we basically go around and we just like pull out the knives and start attacking somebody because of their like preference, because of their religion, because of their ideology. We don't really do that because as artists we know that we have different mindsets. We come from different walks of life. We go through different experiences and traumas that culminate or lead us to our artistry. So that being said, like we want to be able to set a standard where like whoever you are, whatever type of art you do, this is like a safe space for you, you know, and because we know that there's not a lot of spaces like this out here in Boston. So we want to be able to, you know, give opportunity and strike when the iron is hot because, you know, a lot of people, they even come up to me, they were like, yo, like this right here is therapy, you know, like, because is really lacking. You know, just like even going or just whatever you're doing. You know, from work to all these obligations. You know, all of that. You just come here and you just feel like what obligations? Okay. Yeah, it's okay.
What does it mean to you?
What does successful representation look like for me? I think that from so many different varieties of topics that we've had, it seems like every topic loosely, not specifically, but loosely has been covered. And it seems like everybody has kind of had a chance to relate to, so far, given our target audience, at least something to be able to relate to. You know, we had the single mom episode, we've had the single dads episode, we've had the artist episode. We've just had so many different episodes that, again, given our target audience, whatever it seems to be, just from collectively, has been able to relate to. And I think that this day and age, relatability is the most valued concept, because it's not even, of course we won't be able to relate to anybody 100%, but just that idea, that concept of being able to relate to somebody or something seems more important than anything else at this time. And yeah, I think that's my answer. Relatability. Yeah.
Oh, it's funny you say that. It was like, after the last 3 years, like, yeah, it's like a lot of relatability seems to be like the case of everything like nowadays. Like we seen with Trump,
And artists that like they kind of seem to be kind of like emo, like
as long as you can be relatable
like,
to some aspect, it's like
right.
I can be somewhat successful.
Yeah.
Damn, I actually forgot what I was gonna say originally, but if it comes up,
If you remember it.
What makes me feel successful about this platform is that, like, one, we're able to talk to like a bunch of different people. We've talked to politicians. We've talked to like crumpers. We've talked to fighters. We talked to artists. All of us are artists. What makes me feel accomplished about this like platform is that we're just having conversations with people about anything,
right.
about what people feel. It doesn't really matter what the topic of conversation is, as long as it interests us, and as long as we feel engaged, as long as we care about what we're talking about, it feels great after you're done having a conversation.
Right.
It feels amazing.
Right.
When you talk to these people in our community, and we know that we're doing a service because we're bringing out these ideas that would never be heard from people in our community, it feels dope because we're in the forefront just talking to people. And that's what I love.
Yeah.
Also, I feel like the fact that Homies was nominated for the BMAs without even like this was all on a whim, right?
Huge.
Like, you know what I mean? This was all on a whim. Now that folk know, all right, like let's
And that nomination
take it to the
was,
next level. Like
that nomination was wild.
like
because
now
like,
Homies is hungry.
we didn't. That wasn't even like on our schedule. That wasn't in our
Not
mind.
at all,
Our
no.
plan.
This is
that
a whim.
Literally, like we come here every week, just like, hey, yeah, let's talk about this, and we don't even think about how much money can we make, how
can we monetize?
never like
Yeah.
that's definitely something that we want to do, but like that's not the front of our mind
At all.
So I remember the day we found out we were nominated. Like it was me and you here, where Cordelia was here. We had that food. We had an interview.
We didn't even get the email.
Well, how did that
We
trend
didn't
conspire?
even get an email that we were nominated. He found out because someone else texted him and was like, "Oh,
you know?
congratulations!" Like, for what? You were nominated. Oh shoot, for real?
Yeah.
Like that wasn't even on our schedule.
Like
so
I said,
and
it's
even-
on
that
a
was
whim,
just dope.
You know?
That happened.
Yeah,
That's
and
what's up.
even when we went to the BMAs, right? Before that, me and Shane, we would talk. We would be like, bro, like honestly, even if we don't win, we already won.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel that. Because you got eyes. You got notoriety. You got the marketing. Like they did it for themselves on low key.
And bigger than
Without
that,
even trying.
it was really seeing something we did for absolute fun.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
and seeing how like the community was just like, thank you,
Yeah.
we need this.
Right.
Like you can't buy impact, you can't buy that. So it was just like, I don't care if I never
You
want to
can't buy
Like,
impact.
that was just like,
Now we can just double down. Really, it's like we know we got a base.
you
We
know
got
what
a
I mean?
base. That's all we needed.
And like, yeah, that just meant so much because we know how rough it is in the city sometimes for artists trying
Yeah.
Tell me about
and you
it.
know, so
And I credit that because I mean, I actually don't really know the backgrounds of other people, but I mean, at least I credit our ability to even just get nominated because we're not just talking about artists. We are artists.
Right.
Yes.
We create art. We breed art. We are art. Everything we do is based around art. We love it, and we show our love through our products, through our conversations. That is what we are. You know.
What's that felt?
Felt.
yes.
What impact does everyone like want to leave on the community outside of? Because we represent, whether we want to or not, we represent different types of communities. We represent the art community. We represent Boston. But what impact do you guys hope is being left on our viewers and the people that interact or watch this podcast or listen to this podcast?
Personally, for me, when I was younger, I used to like look up like Boston this, Boston that, and like I couldn't find things I was interested in. You know what I mean? I was like, oh, where is this Boston community that I'm looking for?
Yes, sir.
You know, the impact that I'm trying to look for is that like, yo, can I really connect? Can I really make a platform where like, if you're looking to be part of the Boston art community, can I really help you provide that? You know, can I really help you be part of this shit? You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Can I make longevity? Can I make like our platform not just be like, oh, we're just it for the moment, but like, you know, like if you want to do something, you can connect with people who are like-minded with you.
That's right.
In this area.
That's right.
At least for me.
Yeah, I would say it's really about ask the question one more time. This wine is hitting, my bad.
Bye.
Right.
What impact do you hope that we're leaving on the community?
I hope we're leaving the impact of like, hey, you have a voice too. I feel like a lot of people feel like their thoughts, their feelings don't mean anything. But like when you come here, we point the camera at you.
That's right.
And now you're the star of the show. So like, wow, somebody sees me, somebody feels me. Because I know a lot of people out here, they don't feel like shit. People feel like,
Yep.
like they ain't nothing out here.
Yep.
Like, I see it. And like I just feel like, you know, the time is now.
Don't bullshit. Talk about the black sheep. Talk about being the black sheep.
Oh yeah, I forgot all about that.
What's the black sheep?
Nah, it was just like coming up, coming up just as like an artist, a producer in this scene. I always felt like kind of like a black sheep. You know, for whatever reason, I don't know. I don't know what other people are thinking.
Yeah.
Black
But-
Wolf.
You know what I mean? Sheep, wolf, bear cat. You know.
Bear.
Honey badger?
I've never seen a bear cat before. I've never seen a bear cat before.
You ever
But
see a honey badger?
It was just the idea
fuck.
of like not being accepted, being rejected,
Right.
reaching out to certain platforms or people and just
Yeah.
being left on red. And it was just like, damn.
Right.
You know, and like in our city, Boston, like we get it. We're
It's
not
so
like the
small.
biggest market in the world.
Yeah.
But we have so much talent here and so much people that have something to offer even outside of music that there's no reason why this cat or that gal can't be like doing big things.
No one works together.
It don't gotta be like okay, we're all gonna just only support this person
No one
because for whatever reason. Like
Yeah.
no, like there's a lot of people here that you know what I mean, who've put in that work.
That's right.
Who really put in that work. People pioneers of this city who've put in that work, and they need their flowers, and the new pioneers need their flowers. So just understanding how it felt like to be like put in that back seat, and now being in a position where like I can sit where I want.
Right.
Definitely this platform, what we did within like a year and some change, the impact definitely affected me in ways where it's like, yo, if I can do this, anybody can do this. like I feel empowered, I feel lightened every time. And this platform too, like with all the conversations that we've had, and just even being, with people who have different, mindsets, it could be conflicting. There are times where, we've had like conservatives, go after, liberals on this, but like after all, it was a lot of fun. But at the same time, like me being an empath, like I don't want nobody getting hurt.
Yeah.
So I just be at the same time, like I'd be so shocked with just like the results, like everybody being able to like laugh after the smoke clears. So like the impact, I think that is needed is, having somebody come here and leave happy.
Yes.
Come here and leave full of knowledge. Come here like, dang, I learned something new today.
Yes.
That no television, that no podcast, that no pile of books could ever teach me. Within 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, even 30 minutes. So, yeah, like I said before, like community to me is like the first platform, and it's important. Like you can create it out of anything. Wait, what happened?
So, like Andrew Schultz, from Jesus and Meru, that's another podcast, and just different people, just overall, just like seeing how they run and figuring out like if what we're doing, what do we want to leave for our city?
Right.
There's not too many out here, and really what I want to leave is just that wonderment, just like exploring what everyone else has to offer and putting it on a platform and just seeing what goes with that. That's all I really just like am focused on. So this is like a great foundation for the city in a sense where we can do showcases. We can do showcases. We can do events. We can do live podcasts where we have questions, where we test our audience. Our audience tests us, but we test them too at the same time. It's a give and take.
How did you feel about it?
How did I feel about the event?
Oh, damn.
To be real, 100% lackluster. I'm not gonna hold you. Lackluster. It could have been wilder.
Oh, wild.
It could have been wilder. From what I had in mind, from what I was like, because I was pushing to the energy in the universe. A lot of invites, a lot of like diverse people. Out of 100%, 20.
Bye.
You know what I mean?
But look,
you know what I mean?
There was
But
this
it was
older
still a good
lady.
turnout. It was still a good turnout. It was still a good turnout.
It was this older lady that was there. And so do you guys feel like she was a part of the target audience? Like, how do you guys feel like she felt so compelled to come and share her voice? Because she was like in her early 60s.
I seen that. I know exactly who you're talking
And
about.
everybody
Her
else
and her
was, like,
husband.
black, like-
Her and her husband, right?
That was Jamie Lee Curtis.
Who?
I have a crush on Jamie Lee Curtis. I don't know if y'all know about that.
Nah, because he invited Jamie Lee Curtis to the event.
I did.
Obsessed.
Then she came up, and I was like, "Yep, that's Jamie Lee."
Yo,
it was this lady. If you guys watch the video.
I slid in those vintage DMs real quick. You know what I mean? Because I respect the lady. The lady known as Jamie Lee Curtis. She is the goddess. There's the God and there's the S. That's Jamie Lee Curtis S. Respect it.
And
Respect
I
it.
felt like with that event, like just seeing the faces of different types of people, that was like the most accurate like depiction of what this is all about.
Yeah.
That's just the result of us opening doors and letting
Yes.
whoever we want
Yeah.
come in.
Yes.
And guess what? Like
The topic is open to everybody.
it's crazy, and it's like sometimes we get so caught up on things that separate us. But that right there was an accurate depiction of what brings everyone together. people that are, technically should have nothing in common.
Right, technically
we shouldn't.
right.
You know what I mean? But we was there vibing, heavy,
Conversating.
You know, like that wasn't even normal. That type of that was like.
When I saw her, I was like, "What is this lady doing here?" But you know, the illusion of separation is really the greatest sin. We are all more alike than what we think we are.
Absolutely.
And the question is, what is the target audience?
And I also want to say, if she didn't have her husband,
Bye.
I would have hollered.
Bye.
If she didn't have her husband there, I would have hollered.
Y'all go watch that video.
I just want to let that be
Go
known.
watch that video, y'all. It's this lady.
I think
She's literally in her 60s.
But it's clear.
I like that.
It's clear that
Believe
like
it.
our target audience are just artists / adults because a lot of our friends, you know, are adults. They're either in college, they either have kids, who they ever had, you know, they're adults, like straight up, like
They're us.
yeah,
A
us,
reflection of us.
you know, and at the same time, like we talk about topics that are like social, that are
Part of culture.
yeah, like are part of like music culture, entertainment culture, and most importantly, just about like our environment. You know, we talk about what our trauma, how we've overcame some traumas in our lives. We talk about relationships. We talk about, you know, past relationships. We talk about healing. You know, all these are important. You know, if you're a human, like what you said. You know, you know, as human beings, you know, it's important for us to be in touch with these parts of us, and also how we can be able to like explain it, or how we can be able to express it, especially
That's
to like
I love when people come from out of state.
especially to like younger
Canada.
younger folks as well. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like like conversations that we've had like literally can save, you know, a life.
I
You
agree.
know, like even like the manhood conversation, like that. There was so many gems like dropped in that conversation. Yeah, shout out to
Yeah.
Kev, shout out to Landmine. You know what I'm saying? You know, it was just like a lot of things that society, well, that we would be afraid because of society's depiction of us even being able to talk about,
Right.
you know, men being able to like be vulnerable.
Yes,
You
sir.
know, because I'm vulnerable, like vulnerable all the time, but it used to be hard because I was always depressed. But like this whole show and tell platform kind of catapulted me out of my, you know, shell, and it's every week it's molding me into like a better version of myself. Even though I do mess up, I get shit faced, or I do switch, like I do cuss everybody. I'll kick everybody the fuck out. I don't care. Like
That's
sometimes it's okay to fuck up, and it's okay to pick yourself up and let everybody know, like, yo, this is me taking accountability, because most people don't do that. They would
That's
just say
right.
they would just say yeah da 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 da, and they don't even think about reversing,
That's
not
right.
even an inch. So that's what makes us authentic too, you know,
Very true.
as a platform.
Very true.
But yeah,
Is that clip in the last video where Most was like pissed off at everybody?
I remember that.
I'm done. That was
I remember. I got those member berries.
Yo, so many people came
I
up
remember.
to me. Yeah.
What they say?
Yo, so many people came up to me. They was like, "Yo, I'm so glad that you said something, because there was no way I would have." I'm like,
Everyone else was thinking it.
"Yeah."
Because it was getting rowdy.
That's something where like, there's no turning back. You have to apologize, or else there's no turning back. If you walk out the door after saying that, like
Nah, they would look at me crazy,
Like,
like
people are gonna start looking at you a certain way.
Most. So what happened last night?
Most angry. Anyways,
Yo, Ali was like, yo.
What was that?
There are so many different topics that we talk about on the show. Like, how do these topics come about? They're so diverse. We get so many different people wanting to come on. And how do the questions come about?
it
Who
depends.
comes up with the questions?
We were just talking about this yesterday, weren't we?
So how did these conversations come about?
These
The
questions.
topics.
The questions. How do we make the questions?
the topics.
Something like
Topics
that.
and questions.
When me and Tata was living together, we would drink a little bit, just a little bit, and we would just brainstorm, just different questions, laugh, have a good time, but obviously just figure out like what do you think would actually like be cohesive to what we're trying to do versus what would feel attacking to certain people and groups. And we would just like figure that out and just brainstorm.
I would say too, it's that, and also like we have, as a collective, Mos, X, Cricket, you as well, Shane, Lamar, Ali as well. Ali's behind the camera. She's
Shout out Ali.
Ali's been coming through. She's been,
good to be on camera.
She is too good.
But all of us go through things. You know what I mean? As a collective, as a team, all of us go through things. All of us ask each other questions. All of us are in each other's lives in certain ways, in certain times. And from that, we develop questions. Hey, what would you do in this experience? Hey, what do you think about that? Hey, what do you think about this? Like, we're always developing questions because we're all of us are going through different things that we can't fathom. And we're like, it's like, oh, you have a question about this? Or like, oh, I just heard about something like that and I'm questioning it. You know what I mean? I like our platform because we're not trying to, tell people what to think.
no,
We're just like, these are questions that we want to know ourselves, so let's fucking ask them.
Right.
And we make no money off of this shit.
no.
Just saying, we make no money off of this shit. So this is literally off the strength. Well, I mean, unless you want to tell niggas something that you ain't tell niggas something.
Sometimes we're so cracked.
I mean, like I said, regardless,
She said
we don't make
sometimes.
no money off of
Sometimes.
this shit. Off of other shit, sure. Off of this shit, we make no money. So, no.
Any more insight? Did Tata's cover it all?
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, Tata's
Break after this?
basically said what I was gonna say, to be honest. But one thing I really love about show and tell is like I wanted to piggyback on what Shane was talking about, how a lot of us have things in common. Like there's a saying that I like: we have more things in common than we don't.
It's true.
You know what I'm saying?
It's
So
totally true.
and when you put fill a room full of a bunch of people who don't really know each other, because some people invited some people, but most people, who come here, they're all strangers and stuff. And like to have complete strangers have like full conversations like the way that they do.
Complete strangers.
That's right.
And like one thing I love about that is like it shows a humanity of people. You know what I'm saying? Like how people are, how people think, and how relatable we are to each other. And one thing I love about us doing our thing is, like Lamar mentioned earlier, we got people from different countries, different states coming over here. And not even just that, that means people around the world are watching.
That's
you know what
right.
I'm saying? So somebody could be
Facts.
in like the UK, Germany or something, and just watching our shit is relatable because
right.
It's
we're
crazy
people.
you say
That's
that.
the word relatable.
Like early on in the show until like probably like 3 or 4 months in, we're posting stuff on Instagram, and this girl, I don't want to get her name wrong. I think her name was like Julie Ann, I think.
Was she cute?
Mama name.
Yeah, I guess so. But she's this girl from like some European country, like Eastern Europe, and she hit me up and was like, "Yo, I watch you guys all the time." And I'm like, "How?" Like we just started. Like I just, and to this day, she still follows us, still comments, still this. I'm like, wow.
That's what's up.
Shouts to her.
Shout out to you.
Right, shout out to you, girl.
You'll definitely see this when we post it.
Thank you.
But yeah, she even gave me like some pointers on how to like post differently and use reels and this. This is like early on. So I was just like, how
Thank
something
you.
we're doing in some ghetto in Roxbury and ends up in Eastern Europe. Don't ask questions. But guess what?
That part.
You know what I mean?
Roll with it. Just roll with it.
And I'm gonna piggyback on because
That part.
Tata will always be saying like, y'all see, man, we just some niggas. You know what I mean? Like,
That's really what it is, though. It's really what it is. We really.
It just happened because niggas was really logical about this shit.
you know, and,
Right, you gotta be delusional. You
And
gotta
like-
be delusional.
Make it roll, my
and
nigga.
like however you feel about the term or the use of the word nigga, but it's just like I get where the energy is coming from. Where it's like we're just like everyday people,
Right, right.
just doing something we're not even qualified to do.
Just doing it.
We're,
Just
like,
doing it.
That's
we're not,
everybody.
we're not even qualified to do this.
That's right, Lamar. That's
Like, you know
right.
what I mean?
Every 514.
That's how I
Totally
feel.
agree.
They don't know. They didn't know what the fuck they was doing. They was
Yeah.
just like, oh shit,
just
nigga,
start.
I'm just rocking with
That's
it, bro.
right. And you keep
So
going.
you just
gotta
gotta keep the right people around you, and just exude the wrong energies. You know, Heisman the motherfuckers.
Yep.
And keep it pushing, bro.
Agreed.
4 years, 5 years, bro. We're already infamous. Next thing you know, we famous. Infamy comes before fame. You know what I mean?
There's a saying like
Niggas talk about you before they actually. It's like, oh shit, I see you, my nigga. You glistening and shit. They're gonna still do it, but the infamy happens before fame. You feel me? So niggas gonna talk about you for at least 3-4 years.
I
before
totally
you
right
actually
before
die.
they 100%.
It's like I gotta respect you now.
100%.
So
there's a saying that
This is
you
year
know
2.
sometimes you gotta build the plane on the flight.
Hold it.
Sometimes you have to build up. Ooh, that's scary. But you
Yeah,
do
like
it.
that's what they call winging it. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? So
Build the plane on the flight. Say that again. What?
yeah,
I like
sometimes you
that.
gotta build a plane on the flight, man. So
Honestly,
you gotta make
like
it do
before
what
you
it
took
do.
flight, finish the plane. That's kind of scary.
that's what I
Like,
said.
imagine being in the sky. Oh yeah, forgot the,
I got the,
yeah,
got the wing.
we forgot the left wing. You're like, oh,
the
nah,
wing.
man, no.
already steady. Then, you know what I mean? I might get sturdy. Which, you know what I mean?
All right, y'all. Let's take a little quick 10-minute, 5-minute break. We'll be back.